A very good evening to all the viewers. I'm Shivani Srivastav from Global Education and Training Institute. I'm the Relationships Manager at GETI. Today, I'm really honored to welcome Dr. Ravi Kumar, who is the founder and principal of Harvard School of Excellence. He has a rich experience of teaching school children, undergraduate, and postgraduate students for more than a decade. He has a wide range of interests and experience as a director, principal, and teacher in India and abroad. He has also been awarded the International Education Innovator Award by Dr. Sunita Gandhi in 2017. He has published 9 research papers. He is a trainer as well and has conducted various teacher empowerment programs. I welcome you, sir, to our platform.
Yes,
Today,
thank you.
he is with us and he will address us with the topic of flipped classroom. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Shivani. Good evening to all, dear ladies and gentlemen. So today, I'm very glad to be the part of this disruptive education movement initiated by the great practitioner and a illustrious leader and a great academician, Dr. Sunita Gandhi. I think I have been associating with this institution, CMS, probably from last 17 years. I think a very noble work they are doing, and even the part of it that is GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute, initiated this program, and I thank the team GETI for inviting me to talk on the topic, the flipped learning or the flipped classroom. So let me start the presentation. Yeah, dear educators, Ms. Shivani, is it fine? Ms. Shivani,
Yes, sir, this is perfectly
tell,
fine.
yeah, is it clear? The PPT is visible, right?
Yes, sir, you may continue.
Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, dear educators, so even that recently, the Ministry of Education, Government of India, has given us the National Education Policy 2020 after 34 years. And in NEP 2020, they clearly demarked so to education in the schools and colleges to take to the next level. So the next level, they mainly the focusing on uh, experiential learning to give to the children using the technology. Probably the blend of this, the technology to the experiential learning, where it comes this flipped classroom. Let me have a look of what this 21st century pedagogy focuses on. So if you see the 21st century pedagogy builds, let me take very fast, it builds technological information and media fluences. And this 21st century pedagogy teach contextually, the most important part, contextually we need to teach. And 21st century pedagogy are interdisciplinary. That is what between the subjects, there is no connectivity, correlation. Probably that is what it looks for. And 21st century pedagogy work for collaboratively. Probably that now it is the time of, we are living in the age of collaboration. So very much required the collaborative work. And this 21st century pedagogy uh, uses project-based learning, where experiential learning it is focusing projects through projects children learn better, and it fosters problem solving ability. What is the need of the hour now is children should focus on problem solving. And 21st century pedagogy assessed transparently. That is what even assessment part. So they have given detailed guidelines in the national education policy. And 21st century pedagogy develops thinking skills where it is missing. Dear educators, so probably our education system still like where it was in the 17th century for industrial age, it was designed. Thinking questioning skill has been cut there in the among the children, but now there this actually the NEP focuses on this thinking skills. This all these things can be achieved, what I strongly feel is through flipped classroom. Now, in this flipped classroom, let's have a look now. What this flipped classroom? One interesting story I would like to share with you, dear educators. A place, the Colorado in United States of America. There's a woodland park, a place. There, the chemistry teachers, that is Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sams. These two were the chemistry teachers in that place, in the school they were working. So once, because of many reasons like sickness, and they were attending, students were attending sports, and other reasons they were absent to the school. So then each one to teach, it was very challenging to these two, that is Jonathan and Sams. They were finding it difficult to reach out each student about whatever taught. So what they have done, they created a series of video what the children were missed, so that they have shared with the students. Then students, they studied, they have gone through the videos, and they the next day they used to come and ask questions or any queries they used to ask these teachers. So by that they came to know that, okay, so why can't we apply this in the regular teaching? If the children studies previous day or before 1 or 2 days, then if they come to the school, we will get more time. That time we can make use of for more effective teaching, and as well as the learning to achieve. So they thought, then they started giving the previous day itself. They used to share videos and text the content and other many other tools they used, and they started, and they could see the wonder there. They mentioned students gained first exposure on new material outside, and then they have come to the school to have more interaction to achieve conceptual understanding. This is what the brief history behind where it they started this flipped learning. And in this I would like to highlight, and this is an interchanging, I should say it is an pedagogical approach from group space to the individual space. In a simple words, dear educators, an interchanging role of home and school in skill building. I think the schools, most of the work move to the home, and from there it comes to the school. So this is how, and it's a flipped learning and instructional methodology where students engage in referencing and reading at home and carry out the higher order thinking tasks. The most important, dear educators, the NEP stressed upon the HOTS, that is higher order thinking skills at school with the teachers and peers. This is focused, and the flipped classroom approach is supportive to student led. I think this is most important part. See, now we are in the teacher centered the approach. So this takes from teacher centered approach to the student led or student centered approach. So that is what we follow in our school. And student emerges more independent, reflective, and responsible because the confident it improves, in-depth knowledge the child gains. So that is where it helps the child, and it is an extension of constructivist ideology of learning by doing. This is what the need of the hour, dear educators. Now these days, so children only they are learning at the surface level. I think we need to allow them to construct the knowledge. That is where constructive ideology through this we can achieve. And this is how the flipped classroom exactly looks like. Here, before, see here you can see this is before the class, and then during the class, and as well as this is in class. So let's have a look. Now, before the class, student prepare to participate in the class activity. See, he's preparing for participate in the class activity. So by watching what the teacher is doing, and during this process, the student party practice applying key concepts with feedback. See, is trying to apply, and the teacher role is now here as a facilitator. And after, if you could see, the teacher students check their understanding and extend their learning. See, understanding they verify and extend their learning, and of course this is apply their learning. It's a beautiful the image. It clearly explains what flipped learning is all about. And this is also one more image would like to show you, the traditional how it is and flipped. So traditional, the difference how it is: first the teacher give the lecture or the teach, and the homework activities given. And flipped you could see there here lecture they go through in the digital platform or any other means. I'll share with you other means, where which are the other means the tools can be used. And flipped, there's a classroom activity. See, the children love to do the activity, and the learning will be long lasting. So this is how. And if you see why you should flip your classroom, why you should do, see that there are many reasons why you should flip your classroom, dear ladies and gentlemen. So the very first, if you see, flipping speaks the language of today's students. I think, as we all aware of, now the attention span has come down to 6 minutes in the classroom. See, beyond 6 minutes to go, so children need variety in the classroom. Probably that variety through activity and through other like experiential learning they are going to get. That is need of the hour. And flipping helps busy the students. They are engaged, and even the hyperactive kids, they are engaged very like productively. They are engaged, and flipping helps struggling students, those who struggle. How it helps the struggling students means, in this, on their own pace, the previous day they go through the video or other tools, they go through on their own pace. Even the bright kid go through fast, and the very slow, it goes very slowly. And the n number of time this can be revised through this tools. So here, flipped will help those kids. And the next point is flipping helps students of all abilities to excel. This is what here I should say it's a focus on personalized learning or individualized learning. It focuses upon. So here there are different abilities. We call the classroom. There are, in the classroom there are the ostrich, and the other like ostrich also will be there, and the smallest the bird also will be there in the class, hummingbird and as well as ostrich we say. So those kids, this will help. And flipping allows students to pause and remind their teacher what the teacher sends. They can do, they can see n number of times. And flipping increases student teacher interaction. See here, more interaction because of it is activity oriented and focuses on teacher less teaching in the classroom and more discussion it focuses. And flipping allows teachers to know their students better. I think through activity, so the skill of the student will come to know. So it helps the teacher to know better. This is where, and flipping increases student-student interaction and student-teacher interaction as well as between the students. There is a group. They do the activities in a group, so it helps the interaction. And in this, dear educators, there are four pillars in the flipped classroom. I would like to share with you the flipped classroom. There are four pillars. One is flexible environment, and the second pillar is the learning culture, and the third is intentional content, and the fourth one is the professional educator. So there are four the pillars. Let me have a look of. Let us have a look of the first pillar. What it describes about the flexible environment. So beautifully, it is the defined, dear educators. So now here, variety of learning modes children are getting. Children are getting. So here it allows variety of learning modes in the classroom. Educators often physically rearrange their learning spaces to accommodate a lesson or a unit. So they accommodate learning space, they allow these learning modes. Suppose there are different activity kits can be given. So here would like to share with you how one learning the modes, how it gives flexible to understand better understanding. Let me show you the video of what we are using in the school. In our school, each child will be given a activity kit. So this activity kit covers all the subjects, and it is completely mapped to the curriculum. Children, for the better understanding, they do it at home, and as well even in the classroom the teachers are helping the kids and doing this activity. There are many like individual and as well as the group activities are the focused. Now this is called, we named it as the Ruha kit. Ruah means, that is Bloom's taxonomy classification. Ruah means reading, understanding, application, and so you can have a look. This is the kit. See, this is the kit. This is the kit where we give personalized kit for each child, and there are many kits. There is a pop-up cards and different activities the children. As I mentioned, this is related to English. Spell me. Activity kit. Then instructional sheet also given here. And counting cricket, mathematics to teach. The concept of cricket, the game cricket is used here, instructional, and points also given to the kids. And place value sandwich, it's a beautiful activity. Place value to learn, there are the child will be given, that the materials are user friendly and it is completely mapped. And family fun, the value of family, that is in environmental science, children they study, whole family can sit and do this activity. Related to that, all materials also provided to the each child. And my visiting card, think of at the class 1, the child is preparing his or her own visiting card, beautiful visiting card the child prepares. And got talent. See, the talent also you can whatever talent they can exhibit. See, even mic is given to the child. Mic is given, and instructional kits, and scan and watch. I think augmented reality also integrated. So here, each through this QR code, they can explore and think Earth. What's our concern? How to save Earth? So even that is focused. So children to think of. I think these are the this paucity of time that I'll cut short the video. And now this flexible environment through this learning modes children are going to get, and flexible spaces as I mentioned for the group space and as well as individual space. It is flexible. Children can learn on their own pace. Children can, and the flexible expectations and according to their expectation, so children can learn better in this. And the next in this connection would like to show you 21st century mobile social learning, how it happens, how flexible it is. So let's have a look here. The student is here. It's an independent, the teamwork, project, research, sharing, forums, the blogs, all with the help of the technology, and they get information from teachers and as well as flipped teaching, explain everything, app used through video content or content created and given inputs to the kids, and even the experts from the Google, the experts, they get the inputs. Lot of, we are living in the age of the knowledge, the era of knowledge. So creative thinking, it will come out, and big thinking, so it will come out through this flipped learning. And the next pillar is learning culture. I think most important, dear ladies and gentlemen, shift learner centered approach. As I already mentioned, where we are now is teacher centered. It takes from teacher centered to the learner centered approach. And the students are actively involved in knowledge construction. The most important, would like to stress upon construction of knowledge done by students here. So this and these two are the pillars. I think this you are experiencing now in during this pandemic season. That pandemic, you are experiencing how children are constructing knowledge. And the next is intentional content. I think related to this, it is students develop conceptual understanding to make. So we have to give intentional content, and it develops conceptual understanding for your information. And to maximize classroom time in order to adopt methods of student centered active learning strategies. As I mentioned, dear educators, stressing upon maximize classroom time. It maximizes because initial whatever the learning, it happens, understanding, it happens at home, and here they go for higher order thinking. And the next is these the third pillar, and the fourth pillar is the most important is professional educators. We should all become, I think, professional educator more demanding. I think we should here professional educator means, would like to stress upon dear educators here, the it in each other accepts constructive criticism should be accepted, and the teacher role is here like a facilitators as I mentioned, and tolerates controlled chaos in the classroom, and he'll bring higher order thinking skills. Here we are, as if you become a professional educator, we are more demanding, means learning should achieve, and relevant feedback also as a professional reflections here the professional educator should make, and he should give the relevant feedback to the children, and he should be reflective as I mentioned. The it gives in this method, it makes the teacher as a reflective one, it makes. And now moving on, the traditional model and the flipped the classroom model, how it works. Again, to make you clear about this flipped classroom, the traditional model, there's a teacher instruction, and the students assimilation of instructions will happen, and the students completes activity to support assimilation. these three things, yellow one, it happens in takes place in the lesson time, and this homework to consolidate, it takes place outside of the lesson. Homework to consolidate. And here in the flipped classroom, you could see equally it is divided, the red one and as well as yellow one. See, instruction takes place prior to the lesson. What it happens, if you see, instruction delivered through homework, and students assimilation of instructions, it happens prior to the class, prior to the lesson. And during the lesson time, student completes activity to support assimilation, and teacher supports to consolidate. Consolidates, teacher supports to consolidate. See, the beauty of it, the beauty of flipped classroom is, as I mentioned, teachers get more time during the lesson time, so that to conceptual understanding to make, they'll get more time. And what we know about flipped learning. So let's have a look now what we know about flipped learning. So now here, let us see, have access to multiple teachers expertise. See, flipped learning, it access to the multiple teacher expertise. What the teacher is having expertise, so that it access to have multiple teachers expertise. And classroom time used more effectively and creatively, as already I have mentioned, more effectively. And parents have window into the classroom, and the stakeholders, as a stakeholders, so there are parents also one of them, so they should have the responsibility. And the students achievement is increased, no doubt. See, learning, what it is learning, it is long lasting and as well as in depth, and they construct the knowledge, so it helps the child and increases team based skills, because children sit in teams, and in the group activities they engage, so it develops the team based skills and offer personalized student guidance. I think personalized learning is need of the hour now, because in a classroom of individual differences, so we need to go for personalized learning. What in our school we are focusing on, even in our school, I would like to share with you, dear educators, in our school, after the examination, the after the assessment, we do the analysis of the score sheet and as well as the answers children have written, and we prepare individual worksheet. Wherever children have done the mistake, they have lost the marks, those questions, so we prepare the worksheet, and we administer, we'll give to the children, and we'll have a reteach, and accordingly any the bright students, one or two the marks they miss, that area also focused. This is where the personalized learning is focusing upon. And now, how the flipped classroom? Let's have a look of this video, dear educators, for the better understanding how it looks like. So flipping means now it is reverse, from class to home, home to class. See, this is how the word they evolved. This flipped classroom. So here, this video is animated.
This because it's probably how you were taught and how your parents were taught before you.
So let's have a look. Please bear with me for a few seconds. It's a beautiful one. So this clearly explains about how.
But there are a lot of problems with this approach to teaching. You see, not all students learn at the same speed, so some get left behind. And while some students learn better by listening, others may learn better by doing. This means that teachers can't always do the best job they can, but there is another way. The flipped classroom addresses these problems and makes learning more personal. First, the teacher makes a video that delivers the content they'd usually teach in class. Then they share it online with students who can watch it before the next lesson. This leaves the teacher free to spend class time leading activities that help students apply the knowledge. Students can rewind and rewatch a video as many times as they like and come back to class with questions for the teacher. So keeping up with the class is no longer an issue. Students can access the video at any time using mobile devices, giving them the ability to learn more independently. Instead of sitting and listening, students can spend class time applying knowledge in more practical ways. And teachers are free to spend their time working with students and giving them individual support and attention. The flipped classroom model is already making a difference to students and teachers worldwide, so get involved. Discover more at flippedinstitute.org and become part of the movement.
This is how the flipped classroom is about. Hope it is clear to you through this video, flipped classroom. And now, with the help of the Bloom's taxonomy, would like to share with you what the difference between the traditional model and the flipped model. See here, there is a classification: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So here, students are responsible for homework in these levels of understanding. At the traditional model, students are responsible for the homework in this level of understanding. If you see this side, flipped model, students and teachers work together during the school day on these levels of learning. See, they work together, but here, responsible for the homework, students. See the difference. And if you go to the lower side, teachers introduces new material to the students in the traditional model. By teacher introduces new material to the students. Here, a new material is introduced to the students outside of the classroom as their homework. See, understanding, remembering. This happens even at home, it happens. But in the classroom, they study, means they go through applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. And one more, I wish to show you how Bloom's taxonomy, better understanding. See, before the class, remembering and understanding will happen in the flipped classroom. And during the class, applying, and analyzing happens. And after the class, evaluating and creating will happen. See what else it is required. See, it is a revised edition given by Lauren Anderson. So this is how it helps if you use the flipped classroom in effectively. And what are the tools we use in this flipped classroom? Would like to show Khan's Academy. Many of you are using Khan's Academy. The stuff can be used, and video. See, to video to create, so you can use Powtoon. Powtoon would like to show to you, help teacher to emerge with interactive lessons. See how it works, this Powtoon. Powtoon, please have a look now to videos. I think animated as well as the real one. You can create with the help of this. So there are many. So, but I felt this is the better one, the Powtoon to use. It's a few minutes, probably. So helps the next one. Moving on, and this virtual reality also can be used, and open-ended questions and quizzes also can be used, and polls can also be used, dear educators. So let me have a look of whether it is okay. Okay, so there are technical glitches. So let me. Okay, so now, yeah. Now here, so we are discussing about the tools.
Every teacher struggles to keep their students engaged, but there's a powerful way to instill storytelling skills they'll use for a lifetime. It's called Pout.
Okay.
Lab reports, course syllabi, and so much more. No matter what age, there's nothing students love more than to let their imaginations run wild when they learn with Powtoon. And now it's your
So,
turn
dear
to add a spark
educators,
of awesomeness to your
so
classroom.
you
Sign
can
up for Powtoon today.
you can have a look. One more time,
Every teacher
I'll put it
struggles
in.
to
You
keep
can
their
have a look.
students engaged, but there's a powerful way to inspire your students and teach them technological and storytelling skills they'll use for a lifetime. It's called Powtoon, and it's unlocking creativity in classrooms around the world, from elementary schools to the Ivy League. Teachers and students alike love it for its fun characters, easy drag and drop interface, and the ability to quickly and easily create awesome videos. They're using our ready-made templates to create teacher intros, class goals, student resumes, book reports, explainer videos, lab reports, course syllabi, and so much more. No matter what age, there's nothing students love more than to let their imaginations run wild when they learn with Powtoon. And now it's your turn to add a spark of awesomeness to your class.
So this is about, dear educators. This is about the Powtoon, the tool used. So, would like to share with you a few more. As I mentioned with you, there are other tools. So, one more is augmented reality or virtual reality. I think we are happy to share with you in our school. So, children have been taught through virtual reality. So, this virtual reality is all about, let me this gives the real experience how it is. Let me show you, dear educators, how this virtual reality can be used. These gadgets, if you buy, and even the children can buy it these days, it is the cost also, it's not much, the cost wise. So this can be used. So the reality, the platform, many complex the concepts can be taught through this, the virtual reality.
Chandrayaan 2 is India's second lunar exploration mission. The mission is planned to use GSLV Mk3 to launch an orbiter, lander, and a rover to the orbit and the southern pole of the moon, respectively, taking a fuel-efficient path utilizing the moon's gravitational pull. So let us explore more about the journey and the objectives of Chandrayaan 2.
Even wherever you are, you can learn the moon mission. dissection now. These days it is not allowed. So probably through this, children, they'll get the in-depth, the knowledge. The joystick, with the help of joysticks, they can understand better. Engineers. So all the classes, this can be applied. This flipped classroom. Probably the paucity of time, dear educators. So this you can explore, and the Google Forms can be used as tools, one of the tools, and the polls everywhere, and WhatsApp, and augmented reality. I think these days very much. Anything, even in our school, would like to share with you. Each child of class 1 to 8 we are running with. So we have given each child with a globe. See that globe, wherever, if you scan with the mobile, through the app, so you can explore about that countries, the food and the culture, and the physical appearance, the climatic conditions, all you can learn. So this is extended to the home, and Google Hangouts and EdTech, like what TED Ed, so that related to education, and growth cards also can be used in this as tools. So would like to share with you one growth and fixed mindset what we use in this, what we integrated. And one more important point is, during this pandemic time, we have tried out this flipped learning, the concept. This approach is working really well. So through this, we could come to know there is a growth mindset also. There is a growth and fixed mindset. There are two types, how they think. So one example, because of the time, paucity of time, I cannot explain to you. There's a growth card. These kind of cards are given to the kids, and to the parents, we have given the orientation. See, there is a front side of that card, growth card. So how they can address a situation or an issue. So that is one context is, the child sometimes, if they make mistake, the child think that I made a mistake, I cannot do anything, so I don't have other choice. Like that, they go to depression. See, this is growth card. This is the fixed mindset we can see, and in the that growth mindset, the problem can be the approach to the problem. How they can think of is, mistakes help me to learn better for the next time, persist in the face of the problem. See, this is how growth and fixed mindset it works. These are also used as tools in our school. And this teacher, what the teacher will do, create a video and QR code you can share, can create a video, QR code also you can share, and differentiated approach can be used, and it is effective getting information. So the time is ticking away, would like to rush fast, and flipping the teacher also, it happens in this, can be done, flipping the teachers. See, all the videos created need not to have to be done by the teacher. Even the videos created, you can give it to the students too, can be allowed to video to demonstrate better proficiency, because these days kids are techno savvy, they can do better than teachers. And based on the understanding of the lesson, student may do various activities like role play, symposiums, seminars. All these things can be done flipping the teacher. Even teacher's role, the child will play. So this is how benefits for the students, as I mentioned. Once again, I would like to highlight flexibility in time, space, and setup. They have on their own pace. They can learn anytime, anywhere. Learning that can also be revisited. Recording available, the video recording or any other recording, even the augmented reality, virtual reality, through that. And control over pacing the learning. As I mentioned, individualized learning. Difficult concepts can be revived as often as necessary. and they deal with basic level of learning themselves and engage in the class with the teacher for higher order thinking skills. They engage. So this is what the benefits for the students, and one more engaging content that can create and use their own interest. And pros and cons, if you see in this flipped classroom, pros that far, if you see far to the flipped classroom, students have more control, and it promotes student centered, as I mentioned, learning, and lessons and content are more accessible. Lesson and content are more accessible provided their tech access, and access easier for parents to see what's going on in the classroom, and it can be more efficient, I could say. And cons, if you see, it can create or exacerbate a digital divide. See, it can create or exacerbate digital divide. I think digital divide, what is there, a gap in the sense, in India, if you see, hardly 40%, 39%, they're accessible to this digital platform. So this divide, I think probably the challenge, and it relies on preparation and the trust, preparation and the trust, and there is a significant work on the front end. Teacher has to do lot. Teacher should know the shooting skills. Teacher should know how the editing skills. So there is a lot of work, and not naturally a test prep form of learning. Not naturally a test prep form of learning. And the time in front of screen instead of people and place is increased. Inside, in front of the screen, the children, as this challenges, what are they facing, relies highly on motivated learners. It is motivated learners it relies on, because on their own they should go through in the class at home previous day, they should go through, they should understand, they should assimilate to happen. Probably it is that is one challenge. And technology and internet accessibility is also a big challenge. Not all students learn well through visual learning, because as we know, because of the individual differences, some are audio based, auditory based, some are visual based, so some are audio visual based. So this is the reason. And flipped homework is still homework. Flipped homework also still, it's a homework, and it creates digital divide. As I mentioned, teachers have extra work. So this is how this is all about our all about flipped classroom. Dear educators, we have come to an end, and I would like to give a case study in our school during this pandemic time. So we have tried out. See, teachers have prepared the videos given to the kids, and children have gone through with the help of parents, and they have come back to the online platform, live platform, and the teachers had a discussion, and they tried out whether they have understood the basic level, and they explored that what level they can achieve in the classroom. I could see there is probably 74% statistics. If I want to share, the 74% of the students, they have achieved, they have understood the concepts, and it is successfully, it is going. I think you can also try out. And now it is time for question and answer session. Miss Shivani.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
It was really, an informative session.
Okay. Okay.
Really great to see your presentation, and it was great work.
Yeah.
So I do have a question, sir, here. That
Okay.
can a teacher plan remedial teachings in flipped classrooms?
Okay, the remedial teaching here, it works really well. As I mentioned, how the remedial, already I have given example. In our school, what we do in the regular and not in the flipped classroom, even in the regular classroom, after the examination, we do analyze the report, and we are giving specialized the worksheet, focusing upon where exactly the child is facing difficulty. The same way here, where the child is finding the difficulty, so that can be created a video with the help of many tools, and even the pictorial representation or mind mapping can be done, and we can give to the child as remedial. It works really, really, because it on its own the child learns. So it helps.
Thank you. Yet another question, like, does this approach suits learners who have some difficulty in learning or with difficulties in learning?
Okay.
Is this
So
approach beneficial for those students as well?
okay, okay. In a classroom, if we see in a classroom, as I mentioned, there are ostrich and hummingbirds, and as well as we see now these days more difficulty in learning, like hyperactivity and other like ADHD issues and dysgraphia, dyslexia, all many issues we could see. See, we cannot achieve to the fullest. For some extent, I could see there are hyperactive kids in the classroom. See, for them, it works well. The reason is at home they study, and here children are engaged with the activities. So through this experiential learning, children they love to learn, and as well as they are engaged and less distraction in the classroom. So probably it works well. That we have to plan well. If you plan well, certainly it works well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. This was really a wonderful session. And as we are already in this pandemic times, everyone is home, and we are uh, going towards the flip teaching. Your presentation and your words will definitely helps the educators out there. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for joining in and being a part of Getty's disruptive education movement. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your kind words. With this, we come to an end to today's session. I will be back again with another informative session with another prominent speaker. Until then, thank you and good night.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.